Welcome to Holy Word Chronicles, where we bring ancient wisdom for modern life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating cross-cultural differences between Enlil, a major deity in Mesopotamian mythology, and Yahweh, the central figure in Israelite monotheism. We'll explore polytheism versus monotheism, the possible influences that shape these belief systems, and critically analyze why one is considered mythology while the other is regarded as a religion. Get ready for an in-depth journey into the ancient world. To understand the religious landscape of the ancient Near East, we need to start with two of its most prominent deities, Enlil and Yahweh. Enlil was a chief deity in Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian mythology. Known as the Lord of the Air, Enlil controlled the winds and storms and was revered as the god of agriculture, fate, and kingship. His main temple was the Ekur in Nippur, a major religious center in ancient Mesopotamia. Yahweh, on the other hand, is the singular sovereign deity in Israelite religion known from the Hebrew Bible. Unlike Enlil, Yahweh is the one true God, the creator of the universe and a God of justice, mercy, and covenantal faithfulness. Yahweh's central place of worship was the temple in Jerusalem. Now, let's delve into the attributes and roles of Enlil and Yahweh, highlighting their similarities and differences. Enlil, often called the king of the gods, was associated with air, wind, storms, and the breath of life. He held authority over the destinies of gods and humans alike. His decrees were absolute, and he played a central role in Mesopotamian creation myths, such as the Enuma Elish. Yahweh is similarly depicted as omnipotent and sovereign. He is the creator of the universe, as described in the Genesis creation narrative. Yahweh's power over nature is evident in stories like the parting of the Red Sea and his appearance at Mount Sinai amidst thunder and lightning. Despite these similarities, their roles differ significantly. Enlil is part of a polytheistic pantheon with multiple gods each having specific domains. Yahweh, in contrast, is the sole deity in a monotheistic belief system, demanding exclusive worship and offering a covenantal relationship with his followers. This brings us to a crucial discussion: polytheism versus monotheism. How did these differing belief systems shape the cultures and religious practices of ancient Mesopotamia and Israel? Polytheism, as practiced in Mesopotamia, involved the worship of many gods, each with specialized roles. Enlil, as a high god, shared the pantheon with gods like Anu, the sky god, and Ea, the god of wisdom and water. These gods had temples, rituals, and priesthoods dedicated to them. In contrast, monotheism, as seen in Israelite religion, centers on the worship of one God, Yahweh. This exclusive worship is evident in the Ten Commandments, particularly the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods before me," Exodus 20 verse 3. Monotheism shaped a distinct cultural and religious identity for the Israelites, emphasizing moral and ethical conduct as guided by Yahweh's laws. This is reflected in passages like Deuteronomy 6 verses 4-5, "The Shema, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength." Now let's explore how historical interactions and cultural exchanges might have influenced these religious beliefs, particularly focusing on the Babylonian exile. The Babylonian exile from 586 to 538 was a pivotal period for the Israelites during their captivity in Babylon. They were exposed to Babylonian culture, religion, and mythology. This experience likely influenced their own theological development and solidified their monotheistic beliefs. For instance, the Babylonian creation myth, the Enuma Elish, predates and possibly influenced the Genesis creation narrative. Both texts describe a primeval chaos and the creation of order by a supreme deity, Marduk in Babylonian myth and Yahweh in the Hebrew Bible. Similarly, the flood narrative in the Epic of Gilgamesh bears striking similarities to the biblical story of Noah's Ark, suggesting a shared cultural context or direct literary influence. These interactions underscore how the Israelites, in response to their exile and the challenge of preserving their identity, emphasized the uniqueness and supremacy of Yahweh. Prophetic literature from this period, such as Isaiah 45 verse 5, reflects this: "I am the Lord and there is no other. Apart from me there is no God." To further understand the distinction between Enlil's mythological framework and Yahweh's religious system, we must delve into why one is often categorized as mythology and the other as a religion. It is important to note that defining one as a more organized system does not inherently grant it more credibility or value than what is considered myth. Mythology is typically seen as a collection of myths or stories belonging to a particular religious or cultural tradition. These myths often explain natural phenomena, human behavior, and the origins of the world through the actions of gods and heroes. Mesopotamian mythology, including Enlil's narratives, fits this description. It comprises various stories that were integral to the religious and cultural identity of ancient Mesopotamians, but were part of a broader polytheistic tradition. Religion, in a more modern sense, is often characterized by an organized system of beliefs, practices, and moral codes centered around a deity or deities. It includes formal institutions, sacred texts, and ethical guidelines that govern the behavior of its adherents. Yahweh's worship in ancient Israel fits this description, with a well-defined monotheistic structure, sacred scriptures like the Torah, and a comprehensive set of laws and moral teachings. The distinction between mythology and religion can also be understood through their roles in society. Mythology often serves to explain the unknown and provide cultural cohesion through shared stories, while religion tends to offer a more structured approach to spirituality, ethics, and community life. Moreover, it is crucial to recognize that while monotheism is seen as a more organized system, this does not mean it has more credibility or value than Mesopotamian myths. In fact, Mesopotamian myths predate the biblical accounts and have scientific proof in the form of ancient texts and tablets that people can assess for themselves. For example, the Enuma Elish and the Epic of Gilgamesh are well-documented ancient texts. The biblical account, on the other hand, relies on faith and belief in an all-powerful divine being, capable of bringing the world into existence by merely speaking it into being. While this may seem fanciful and far-fetched to some, it is a deeply held belief for many. No disrespect is intended to believers of any religion. Our goal is simply to lay out the facts so the modern reader can make their own informed decisions. Furthermore, many of the biblical accounts appear to be derived from Mesopotamian ancient texts and tablets. For instance, the similarities between the flood narratives in the Epic of Gilgamesh and the story of Noah's Ark suggest that the biblical texts were influenced by earlier Mesopotamian literature. In conclusion, while Enlil's stories are seen as part of a broader mythological tradition, Yahweh's worship represents a structured religious system. This distinction underscores the dynamic nature of human belief systems and their adaptation to changing cultural and historical contexts. Both systems offer profound insights into how ancient civilizations understood the divine and their place in the world. Thank you for joining us on this comprehensive journey through ancient mythology and religion. Understanding the cross-cultural differences between Enlil and Yahweh and the dynamics of polytheism and monotheism enriches our appreciation of the ancient world and its enduring impact on modern spirituality. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Holy Word Chronicles for more explorations of ancient wisdom for modern life. See you next time.